Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 and the PitFuturesTrading.com coming to you this Wednesday morning, February 19th. We're looking at the last 5 days of the market profile here on Window Trader. And remember, 5-day balance. Yesterday, we had balance rules and an inside day rules. This morning, we have balance rules and possibly gap rules, right? Everything's got to be put into context. This is a 5-day balance, but it's only $3.50 for the whole 5 days. So it's a very tight range. Volume's been under average all 5 days. And remember, we do time frames with $2, $3 ranges sometimes. So at some point, we're going to break out of this either to the upside or downside and get some good acceleration. Context. Yesterday, we came out of an inside day 7 times to the downside. And the most we could do is get close to the bottom of the 4-day balance at the time, right? And if sellers continue to fail. So this morning, even though we're possibly gapping higher, right? There's still an hour to go prior to the opening. We're going to be dealing with the upper end of this balance, right? Traders are going to do its work till it doesn't work anymore. So the way they defended the bottom of the balance, there's a good chance they're going to defend the top of the balance, especially since it's an all-time high. Keep that in mind. All right, so destinations for this morning. Well, since we still have an hour to go, we're still going to use yesterday's high on both sides of the equation. And don't forget, we had a bad tick at 337, I think 67 yesterday. It's right around where we're trading. Yesterday's high is 337.17, so anything above that would be a gap. Then we have 337.73, the high from the 14th. 338.12, weekly high, all-time high from the 13th, and 338.24, the pre-market all-time high, also from the 14th. For the downside, if we gap higher, again, you're going to use yesterday's high of 337.17. Then until we get more market-generated information, we don't have anything until 335.96, which was our afternoon pullback low in J period. Also, though, you're going to have our pre-market low right now is 337.25. Okay, so that's still part of the gap, still above yesterday's high. Then after the afternoon pullback low, we don't have anything to yesterday's low of 335.21. And then the daily low and bottom of our 5-day balance, 334.75 and 334.20 price probe from February 10th. Game plan for this morning. Well, since there's still an hour to go, right now we're looking at around a 50-cent gap. Now, ordinarily, that's a perfect gap for me to get involved because my risk is not that bad, right, to the gap. However, we're still getting closer to the top of a balance. So if you were to buy it here and sellers decide to defend the balance, you could come in right away. So based on that, I mean, you can take a small call position, but I certainly am not going to take my regular size, only because I think sellers might defend the top of the balance right away. I would almost want to see this come in, even fill the gap, but then start one-time framing up, stay above yesterday's high, have higher value, and then at some point, attack the top of the balance and the all-time high. Rather than to get to it right away, take it out, and maybe come right back in. But regardless, you can take a call position here, out if the gap fills. Put position, wouldn't take one right here. The only put position I would possibly take is if we do get to the all-time high, take it out, come right back in, and then start one-time framing down in B period where we're going to close the gap. Otherwise, I'm not going to take one because, again, you're going to have higher value and you'd still have the gap to deal with. Again, I've said this many times, let your canvas form. You have all day to trade. If you don't take a trade at 9:30:01, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd rather have market-generated information backing me up. Remember, a market imbalance is a market waiting for more information. Yes, we're gapping higher. That is information. But we also have the top of a balance of a 5-day balance. It doesn't hurt to get more confirmation whether we're going to break through this balance and start a new leg higher or fail at it, come back in and test the bottom of the balance. And then chart-wise, just quickly, once again, weekly, one time framing up 2 weeks right now, above the trend line, very healthy, just like the monthly. Although you do want to come above last week's high and continue a leg up, right? You want to get distance away from the previous highs. And then the daily, just like we spoke last night, 5-day balance, they're attempting, the way they tried the bottom of it yesterday, got below the trend line, sellers got cut off. Now we're above the trend line, we're trying the top of it. Do buyers get cut off like the sellers did, or are we going to make a new leg higher, right? Balance up, balance up, balance. We're going to continue up. That's the question. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.